Okay, so a flow inspired by our moon salutation. So a real feminine, passive, slow quality. So really think about organic movements and just going with how your body wants to move. Maybe some blocks and a strap could also be handy as well. Okay, everybody lying down onto your mats, into your Shavasana, and we're going to start just taking notice of how your breath is right now, and then working in to some deep yogic breathing, allowing that prana, that life force, to flow freely through our bodies. Closing down the eyes if they aren't already, and feeling that belly rising and falling. Just checking in with your body, noticing if there are any areas that you're still holding tension onto, and give them permission to fully sink down into the mat. Coming into our deep yogic breathing, so it's our 3-part breathing. So we'll be inhaling, breathing in through our nose, filling the air up all through, down to the stomach. And then filling up the back and the sides of the ribs, so physically feeling the ribs grow longer and grow wider and deeper down into the mat. And then finally all the way up to your collarbone. And exhaling in reverse, so air from the collarbone. And then the back and sides of the ribs, and finally all of the air from the stomach. So continuous breath in for 4, out for 4 through the nose. Absolutely, if 4 counts is too much, drop it down to 3, or even increase it if it's too easy. With every inhale, feel that new lease of life entering your body. And every exhale, feel any of that tension, any energy that just isn't serving you, completely disappear. So start with your inhale. 1, belly. 2, sides of the ribs. 3, back of the ribs. 4, all the way up to your collarbone. Exhale, collarbone. Back of the ribs. 2, 3, sides of the ribs. 4, air from the belly. And again. Continue with this deep breathing. Just notice if there's any parts of your torso, of your airways that feel really sticky with that inhale. And maybe you just take that count down a little bit, just to create a bit more ease in your body, and work towards increasing that inhale and exhale. In for 4, out for 4, through your nose, in through your nose. Feeling your body sinking further down into the ground with every exhale. Final big inhale and exhale. Maybe you keep your eyes closed or start to blink them open. Coming into our half happy baby, Taking our right knee into our chest. And then grabbing hold of the outside of that foot, driving the sole of the foot up to the sky, keeping the left leg long. Maybe you place that hand on your left thigh just to keep it grounded. And grounding through this right shoulder. Maybe taking the grip to your calf or to your hamstring instead. Maybe this is where you grab your strap or your dressing gown tie, whatever you have, coming into a hamstring stretch now. So straightening up through that leg, back straight to the sky rather than out to the side. And wherever you grip hold of, again, make sure both shoulders are drawing into the ground. You don't have to have your legs straight, absolutely work to a micro bend, but keep those toes flexed. Remember that as soon as that thigh is active, the reaction is that the hamstrings are allowed to relax. So draw that knee up. Breathing here. And then we're taking the leg out to the side, so still extended. Maybe you get the peace fingers around that big toe, so the index fingers, the middle finger and the thumb. And then you start to take that leg all the way to the right. Keeping the left leg grounded. Again, absolutely working with a bend in that right leg. Strap around the foot is fine. Maybe you take the left arm long and gaze out to the left side. Trying to think about those hips both equally grounding into the mat. There might be a tendency to start lifting up that left hip because it wants to go in the same direction as the right. Keep breathing. Inhale super slowly, take that right foot up to the sky again. And then slowly release, switching over to the other side. Left knee up, coming into that half happy baby. Again, assess where you want to grab hold of. Keeping that right leg long. Trying to keep as much of that back onto the mat as possible from the crown of the head down to the tailbone. Keep drawing the knee into your chest. Keep grounding that left shoulder. Coming into a hamstring stretch, so knee back into the center, and then taking that leg long to the sky, keeping that foot flexed. Maybe you take that strap around the foot just to ensure that you can keep those shoulders still onto the mat. Keep flexing that foot. Coming into that extended leg to the side, so maybe you take the peace fingers around the big toe, or keep the strap. Take that left leg out to the side. Trying to think about those hips still being in line. And maybe you take that gaze over to the right side. Feeling a stretch through that inner groin as well as the hamstring now. Inhale super slowly all the way back up and release. Big hug, knees into the chest, roll the forehead up, just waking up that back. And then super slowly extend into a really big stretch, fingers and toes as far away from one another as possible. And then we're going to roll all the way over to our bellies. Coming into a Sphinx pose, so propping yourself up onto your elbows, forearms parallel, hands straight down to the ground. and your shoulders and elbows are in line. If this is too much, absolutely come down so your hands are placed on top of one another and your forehead is resting on them. That might be more comfortable on your lower back. Thinking about the heart pulling through. Keep pushing the mat away. Be conscious if your elbows are splaying out to the side. You want to make sure that they're parallel here. And that energy is really driving through the mat to the top of our head. Gently waking up that lower back. Keep feeling that two-way force, so grounding the forearms and pulling the heart through. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you come into your seal, so you extend those arms all the way in front of you, so at that almost 45-degree angle. As long as you can prop yourself up nice and comfortably and your shoulders aren't drawing up to your ears. Still waking up that lower back, grounding that pelvis. If you're in seal, maybe you start to take some gentle twists from side to side, taking that gaze over each shoulder, bending through the opposite elbow. Really moving with that breath. Final inhale wherever you are. Exhale all the way down. Propping yourself up back on the forearms. Tucking those toes, getting ready for a forearm plank. So really draw that energy into the core, engage it. Squeeze the glutes, drive that energy through the back of the heels. Big inhale, push that energy through the forearms and start to lift off into your forearm plank. Keep that pelvis tucked, keep the core engaged, keep pushing the mat away with those forearms. Coming into a side plank now, still on that forearm, coming over so that the right arm is lifted. Maybe you stay here or you start to take thread the needle so that right hand goes through that gap between that left bicep. Keeping the chest nice and open. If you fall out of it, just come back into it. 3, 2, and 1. Really good. All the way back down, forearm plank. Staying here onto the other side. Taking that left arm all the way up. Keep driving the hips high. Keep pushing the mat away with that forearm. And maybe you stay here or take thread the needle again. That left hand coming through that gap underneath the right bicep. Keep drawing the shoulder blades together every time that arm goes back up. 3, 2, and 1. All the way down, really, really good. Come down just for a second. Allowing those shoulders to relax, taking the hands back. Maybe you just rotate those shoulders. And getting ready for our high plank. Hands underneath the shoulders, forehead down to the ground. Maybe you come all the way up through your plank to your high plank. Or you come through your all fours. Big inhale, activate that core. Tuck the pelvis. And next, exhale all the way up, wherever you are, meeting us in high plank. Staying here, driving the energy through the heels, still pushing that mat away. Keep that pelvis tucked, core engaged. Keep breathing. Now taking the feet so that we're in a wide leg stance now, so both feet out to the side. You might want to turn around so that you're still placed onto your mat, just to have that grip of your mat. Taking the hands back, coming into your wide leg fold. Thinking about those hips going high. toes slightly tucked in, drawing up those knees, remembering that drawing up the knees activates the thighs, which in turn relaxes those hamstrings. Keep breathing. Every inhale, think about the crown of the head driving further away from that tailbone. And every exhale, maybe you fold at the hips ever so slightly further. Final inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, take the hands directly under the gaze so you're in this half lift. Take your left hand underneath your face, coming into a twist. Maybe this is where you have the block so that you can keep your hips square. Big inhale, right hand all the way up to the sky. Breathing here. Now this time, really listen, we're going to pick up the left foot, turning the right toes out. Picking up this left foot, drawing the left foot straight through the gap of your left hand and right foot, so that you're in this extended leg. Taking this right hand all the way up and over to that left leg, taking that head down to the knee. Now absolutely, you stay where you need to so that your chest is nice and open. Maybe you even come into this bound angle, so you take the left hand onto the right ankle and then the right hand up and over to that left foot, but you work within your limits. Breathing here, really try to find space where there isn't any. Putting the left hand back where it was. Picking this left foot all the way back up, back into your wide leg fold. Big inhale, setting up for that twist again. Right hand down, just below that gaze. Big inhale, left hand all the way up into that twist, keeping those hips square. Breathing here. Turning the left toes out, picking up this right foot, taking it between the gap of your right hand and left foot, extending that leg, taking the left hand over that leg, folding over, making sure that that chest is still nice and bright, or maybe you even come into that bound fold, so taking the right hand to the left ankle, left hand to the right foot, and then starting to work into that twist. Remembering to breathe. Final inhale. Exhale, come out of that twist, plant the right hand back down. Big inhale all the way back up into your wide leg fold. Turning both toes out at that 45-degree angle. Big inhale, pick up those hands so that you're now in a goddess squat. Taking the index finger and thumb to one another. Elbows to shoulder height, and make sure you're drawing the knees outside so you're really using these inner thighs. Breathing here. Sinking down lower if you've got the space. Keeping that chest nice and open. Coming into a triangle towards the right foot, so straightening up those legs, turning the left foot towards the right, that 45-degree angle, turning this waist round to that right foot. Arms out long, reach, 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 stick out that left hip, and as soon as you can't reach anymore, come into that triangle. Maybe you use those blocks. Keeping that underside really long, remember it's a triangle. Reaching that left hand high, working both legs as much as the other one. Breathing here. Next exhale, coming into a pyramid. So again, maybe both blocks frame that front leg. And then you start to take that chest towards the shin. Gazing towards the big toe to keep that chest nice and open. And just checking that your hips are square, your right hip isn't pulling forward. Breathing here, remembering to activate both legs as much as one another. And then slowly coming into a low lunge, picking up the left toes, taking them slightly further back into your low lunge. Knee down, toes untucked, hands all the way up to the sky. And maybe you come into a slight back bend, taking the hands behind you, interlacing them. Big inhale, draw the heart up to the sky. Draw those shoulder blades together. Slowly exhale, come back to your low lunge, crawling the hands all the way round so that you're coming into your skandasana. So you're bending through the left leg, you're extending the right leg. Now, if you're here, absolutely sit on a block if that left heel doesn't go to the ground. Flexing through the right toes, hands to heart center, drawing that left elbow and knee towards one another, keeping that chest nice and open. Remember, those blocks are your friends and they're there to keep you safe, but also being able to enjoy your practice. Breathing here. Next, inhale, plant the hands, spin round to the left foot, coming back into that low lunge, knee down, toes untucked, coming into that same flow but in reverse, so coming up to your low lunge, hands up. Exhale, hands behind, interlace them. Next, inhale, you're drawing your knuckles down, you're pulling your heart through your chest. Really feeling that chest opening. Slowly exhale, hands back to the ground. Pick up the right toes, coming into that pyramid. So right toes 45-degree angle. And folding over that left leg, gazing towards the big toe. Maybe your blocks are here beside you. And just checking that those hips are square. Keep working both legs, make sure that they don't go sleepy. Maybe your feet are just slightly further apart so they're on train tracks rather than heel to heel. That's going to help those hips. And next, inhale, coming up to that triangle again, so picking up the right hand to the sky this time. Again, that left hand can absolutely be on a block. Drawing this right hip inwards so you're internally rotating that leg. And keeping that left underside really nice and long. Reaching up to the sky. Inhale, super slowly all the way up to standing. Back into that goddess squat. And again, over to the right. So triangle, picking up that left foot, turning it in, reaching forward, all the way down to your triangle. Exhale, coming into that pyramid. Picking up the left foot, drawing it back, knee down. Inhale, arms to the sky, low lunge. Hands behind, interlace those fingers, big inhale, draw the knuckles down, heart pulls through. Exhale all the way down. Coming into your skandasana, but this side now, so don't crawl around. Left toes flexed, hands to heart center. Drawing that right elbow into that right knee. Remember, the block is there to sit on. Keeping that chest nice and open. Exhale, walking the hands to the left side, coming into that low lunge, knee down, hands all the way up. Interlace those hands, draw the knuckles down, heart pulls through. Exhale, hands down, step that right foot in, into your pyramid. Next, inhale into your triangle, right hand up to the sky. Inhale all the way up into your goddess squat. Staying here, hands come to the inside of those thighs, dropping the chest down, really driving that energy through those knees. And then dipping that left shoulder, gazing over to the right into this twist. Keep pushing the left hand and left knee away from one another. Inhale through center, over to the other side, dipping that right shoulder, really pushing that hand into the knee. Inhale through center, over to the left. From your twist, take this left foot all the way around so you're now facing the back of the mat. Big inhale, hands up into your warrior one. Exhale, hands behind, interlace those fingers, draw the knuckles down, pull the heart through. And exhale, start to fold all the way over that right leg into your humble warrior. Making sure that back leg is doing enough work, it's not gone to sleep. Hanging this head. Breathing here. Super slowly inhale, uninterlace those hands back up to your warrior one. And then just coming through all the way to the front of the mat into your warrior one with your left leg bent. Maybe you walk those feet slightly further apart, keeping the ribcage contained. Exhale, hands interlace behind you. Big inhale, draw the knuckles down, gaze up. Exhale, humble warrior, fold all the way over that front leg. Knuckles come up and over, hanging that head. Still working that back leg, grounding through the little toe side of that foot. Big inhale, super slowly, all the way up through your warrior one. And then coming to the front of your mat. Toes together. Big inhale, hands up, gaze up. Exhale all the way down, knees bent, chest to thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those hands. Step straight back into your all fours, setting up for your camel pose. So tucking the toes, kneeling all the way up, hands just above that bum, fingers facing down, so you really got that support of your lower back. Big inhale, pull that chest up, heart pulls through. Now you're not really thinking about a back bend as much as you're thinking about growing that chest high, pulling that heart through to the sky. Just ever so slightly take that head back, the gaze follows. You want those thighs to stay in line with the knees and activate the glutes. Final inhale. Exhale super slowly all the way back down to kneeling. Maybe you close down the eyes. If you get a bit of dizziness, that is okay, but if there's any pain or too much dizziness, then bow out of this one. Okay, coming into that one again, tucking those toes. Hands to the lower back, big inhale, reach the chest through. Exhale, start to take that gaze up and over, activating those glutes, keeping the thighs in line with the knees. If the thighs aren't in line with the knees, just come back up a little bit. Final inhale. Exhale. Inhale, tuck the chin to the chest. Super slowly all the way down. Getting ready for our final time. Now absolutely work with those toes tucked Or maybe you keep those toes untucked if you feel that you've got the space. Hands to that back again. Inhale, lift, pull that heart through, draw that pelvis forward. Exhale, start to come down. And maybe if your toes are tucked, you start to come to the heels. And if the toes are untucked, the same. Final inhale. Exhale, super slowly come up, tuck the chin to the chest. Really slowly come all the way down to a wide leg child's pose. Knees out to the side, toes touching, crawl those hands forward. Forehead down, just allowing that lower back to settle down, no fast movements. Feeling the hips sinking down to the heels. Final big inhale here, really feeling the sides of the ribs and the back of the ribs expanding. Really slowly take the knees back in. Coming into our first and only downward dog, so hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes, big inhale, engage, exhale all the way back, downward dog. Pushing the mat away, tailbone high. Breathing here. Like we did at the start, we're going to pick up this left foot, right hand up, and then slide that left foot all the way through into your Janu Shirshasana. So taking the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh, right knee out to the back of the mat, left foot flexed. Big inhale, lift the crown of the head high, and using that waist, starting to take that gaze over to the left leg. Hands down, exhale, start to fold down really gently, thinking about this right rib cage spinning round to the left, keeping both hips driving to the ground, keeping the toes flexed, gazing towards the left toes. Remembering to breathe. Inhale slowly all the way up. Coming into a wide leg fold, so taking this right leg long. Wherever you want to be, however wide you want those legs, just make sure the toes are flexed, facing directly up. You're not tempted to roll these knees, so you're really working these inner thighs. Inhale here. Maybe you're sitting on a block so that you can keep nice and lifted. Next, exhale, start to walk those hands forward, really tipping at the hips so that you're not leading with those shoulders. Wherever you get to, stay here and harness the power of your breath. Really work inwards to help calm and help relax you. Really working to those relaxed muscles. Still flexing through the feet, remembering thighs and hamstrings have that really special connection. Maybe on your next inhale, you might just crawl those fingers ever so slightly further forward. And on your exhale, maybe you have a little bit more space to fold at those hips. Still toes facing up. Super, super slowly walk these hands all the way in. Taking the left leg, bending that knee, taking the sole of the foot to that inner right thigh. Left knee still diagonal. Inhale, lift, using that waist to gaze over that right foot. And on your exhale, start to fold over, still drawing both hips down. Really working on this left rib cage spinning round, so you've got square chest, square rib cage. Still breathing here. Inhale all the way up. Slowly helping this right foot in, taking both sides of the feet towards one another now. Maybe you take the heels just slightly further away from the groin. Sitting on a block is fine, or maybe you put the blocks under your knees. Taking grip of those feet or maybe the ankles. Big inhale, pull the chest through. Exhale, start to fold from the hips, leading with the chest. Keeping the ears in line with the shoulders. Every inhale, see if you can reach the crown of the head further forward. And every exhale, see if you can sink slightly further down, sticking that bum out almost. Once you have got to the absolute maximum, completely relax, hanging your head. Feeling that neck stretching all the way down to the base of the spine. With every exhale, feel that head hanging even more, that neck fully releasing its hold on the head. Knees dropping out to the sides. Inhale really slowly all the way back up. Head being the last thing to come up. Taking both feet back around to the front of the mat. Feet planted, knees facing up, hands out. Using this core strength, but we're not going to be using it for long. Inhale, reach the crown high. Exhale super slowly as you can, rolling through every single vertebrae. Don't be tempted to rush. All the way down, really nice. Hugging those knees into center. Feeling the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head, flattening down into the mat. Coming into our full happy baby, taking the hands in between the legs, gripping hold of the outside of the feet, drawing those feet up, flexing the feet. Maybe you grab hold of the hamstrings or the calves, just so you can keep those shoulders drawing into the mat. Maybe you rock from side to side, feeling that nice massage along the spine. Coming back to stillness. Preparing the body for our Shavasana, so taking any extra movements you need. before taking their legs out long, closing down the eyes, hands away from the body, palms facing up. Allowing the shoulders to roll away from the chest, feeling heavy into the mat. Feet falling further out to the side. Coming into a body scan, just checking in, just noticing if there's any areas of tension. Allowing your mind to just linger on something that, with the energy we have been harnessing today, inspired by our moon salutations, what are you going to be cleansing? What thoughts, what energies that don't serve you anymore are you going to really dedicate time to getting rid of? Because you are the only person who can do that. With every exhale, feel that thought solidify, clearer and clearer. Maybe you can even start to get rid of that energy now using the exhale. Now you stay here if that is what's going to serve you. If not, start to bring some movement back into your body, wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Coming into a big morning stretch. Scrunching up the eyes, scrunching up the face. And then relaxing, feeling that difference one more time. Really working every muscle in the body, scrunching. And then relax. One more time, reaching the toes and the fingers. Scrunching up the face, drawing in that belly. And relax. Bending up the knees, rolling over to whatever side, bicep as a pillow. Keeping the eyes closed, slowly start to push all the way up to seated. Hands resting on your thighs, palms facing up. Again, just take your mind back to that thing, that energy, that thought that you are going to work on cleansing, of reinventing, because you have the power and nobody else is going to do it for you. Hands to heart center, bow the chin to the chest, thumbs to the third eye. You are so much more powerful than you can ever even think of. And you can do anything that you put your mind to. You're already dedicating so much to your practice for joining me that you are already on such an amazing path. Coming to the end of our practice, wherever you are, stay in your Shavasana if that is what's going to serve you. If not, take the hands away from the eyes and start blinking the eyes open.